What if I told you that Union Pacific had something in common with U.S. presidents? Well, if you're wondering what that may be, it will be that Union Pacific has made free commemorative presidential units about free, past, and current U.S. presidents. And we're going to go explain what these units are, their history, where they are now, and everything more about them. The story of our first locomotive starts with George W. Bush, born on July 6, 1946 in New Haven, Connecticut. He was the 41st President of the United States of America from 2001 to 2009. In 2005, Union Pacific 8423, an SD-70 Ace, entered service. However, shortly after, it was pulled away from service and taken into a paint shop. Then, on October 18, 2005, the locomotive was unveiled at the George W. Bush Presidential Library and Museum as the 4141, the George W. Bush Commemorative Unit. It was equipped with a paint scheme that was relatively similar to the Air Force One, and the 4141 stands for George W. Bush being the 41st President of the United States of America. Shortly after being revealed, the locomotive sat at the Presidential Library on display for a little while. But then, in 2008, it entered revenue freight service. This unit was removed from active service, though, in 2009 due to the 2008 financial crisis. After being taken out of service, it was stored at Union Pacific's North Little Rock shop. For around 3 years, the locomotive sat and sat and sat. However, in 2012, the locomotive got removed from storage and ran a single round trip from North Little Rock to Chicago, then returned to storage, and then for 6 whole years, the story of this locomotive dies down. That was until George Bush died on November 30th, 2018. After Union Pacific heard the news, they immediately pulled the unit out of storage and sent it to Houston, Texas. Until December 6th, the locomotive sat there. But that's when Union Pacific got permission for a funeral train. What this means is that George Bush's body will be placed on business, also known as OCS cars, owned by Union Pacific, and then they will be taking his body on the train from Houston to College Station, Texas, where the library is. The lead locomotives on this train would be Union Pacific SD-70 Ace 4141, which is of course the unit we're talking about, and then trailing second behind it would be Union Pacific SD-70 Ace 9096, which is just the regular SD-70 Ace in the normal Union Pacific paint scheme. After that, it was sent to Omaha, Nebraska, where it was displayed from December 9th to December 12th. However, Union Pacific 4141 later went on a system-wide tour with stops in like Chicago, Fort Worth, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, North Platte, I think, Pine Bluff, North Little Rock, and Portland, and a couple more, pretty much the whole Union Pacific system, and then it returned to active service, actually, in addition to being displayed on other locations. However, 4141's story comes to an end on November 8th, 2019, when Union Pacific donated it to the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library and Museum, where it would permanently be displayed on the pavilion. On November 8th and 9th, it went on its last tour from Houston to Palestine, Texas, as part of the Southwest Tour. It was also paired with Union Pacific Big Boy number 4014, the last active Big Boy locomotive that was recently restored at the time. Following the last run, it was taken back to North Little Rock shops to be prepared for display. And on March 12, 2021, the locomotive arrived back at College Station and then was put on display on June 13th, 2024, just in time for George's 100th birthday. And that is the end of 4141's story, where it now sits on that pavilion for the rest of however long it's going to be there. Probably for forever, I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into our next unit. Our next unit is Union Pacific 1616, an EMD SD-70M locomotive, which was painted in the honor of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th U.S. President. During Lincoln's tenure, Lincoln signed the Pacific Railway Act, which enabled the building of the Transcontinental Railroad system. It is painted in colors reminiscent of Lincoln's time and also commemorates Locomotive 119, which was a key participant in the Golden Spike ceremony. This locomotive is usually paired with the Union Pacific Big Boy whenever it runs, or on other excursions. As of recording, this locomotive is currently in North Carolina getting ready for the North Carolina Transportation Museum 250th event, which it will be participating in. And after this, it will be in, I'm pretty sure, active service, but if not, that means it's going back to a yard until the big boy runs. I'm not really sure. It's probably one of those, though. As for the horn, I do not know what it uses, but I can play a video of what it sounds like. Here that is right now. However, that's pretty much it for this unit, so let's go ahead and move on to our last unit. Our next and final unit is Union Pacific 4547, a GE ET44AC locomotive that was built by Wabtec. This locomotive was built to honor Donald J. Trump, the current president of the United States as of the time I'm uploading this video. This engine is mostly white, and then as you can see currently, the giant striped American flag that waves and all that. However, you may be wondering why this unit was painted, and Union Pacific didn't give a reason, but the secret reason is the merger. If you're confused, Norfolk Southern and Union Pacific recently want to merge. They are both two massive Class 1 railroads that if they merge, it would dominate pretty much the whole railroad industry, and they would be superior railroads. As together, of course. So to hope that the merger gets approved, they made this unit to honor Donald J. Trump. So I guess their thought process was he'd feel honored and then approve their merger. I saw a comment that said, to please approve our merger unit, and I thought that was really funny. And that's another thing. This unit is hated on like crazy. And here's my thing. I think the scheme is great. I really love the paint scheme on this unit. It's got a basic horn, it's fine. This unit's cool. I've heard that it can't run by itself, though. I don't know what that means. I never watched the video. Maybe it doesn't have an engine. I'm not sure. And then I think that the only thing that ruins this unit for me is the fact that it's just political, because, with everything going on. And they probably don't even care about Trump. They just want the merger approved, so that's why they made this. But, yeah, my overall opinion on this is it's a fine unit, but the political stuff throws me off about it. And the last thing to add on to this unit is the horn it uses, which is a Nathan H. Airchime K5HL, which I will play now. And one more thing, where it is currently, it is also with 1616 going to Spencer for the 250th event, which it will be there in a couple of days, ready to be displayed and participate. And with everything that we just said and explained, that is going to do it for this video. I wanted to do a narrating video or explaining video, and I saw that 1616 and 4547 were together for Spencer, and I was like, I'm going to cover the presidential units, because, yeah, why not? But, yeah, so that's this video. Please let me know in the comments if I got anything wrong, because this is pretty much all coming off of Wikipedia and what I've seen on YouTube. And, yeah, the only unit with a history, really, was 4141, which, pretty interesting history, if I'm being honest. But anyway, that's gonna do it, so if you like this type of content, you can like and subscribe or comment, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't really got anything else to say, so, yeah, peace.